back, listeners, to another exciting episode of Cosmos and Commerce. I'm Michele, your guide to all things business and bubbly.
And I'm Janis, here to sparkle in a bit of humor and keep Michele from getting too serious. Okay, today we've got a fantastic show all lined up, don't we, Michele?
Absolutely, Janis. We're talking about mini weddings, baby showers, and small parties with the fabulous Danielle Browning, the owner of the cutest micro center you'll ever see.
Absolutely. I'm already thinking about all the mini cake possibilities, but first, Michele, would you rather organize a mini wedding for 100 puppies or a surprise party for a group of flamingos?
Oh, definitely the puppies. Imagine the chaos, but the cuteness overload would be worth it. What about you?
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Puppies all the way. I love flamingos, but puppies 100%.
Flamingos would be cool too. They've got the moves and the color coordination down pat. But enough about us. Let's get to the real star of the show. Stay tuned, folks, because Danielle's story is one you won't want to miss.
That's right. Aww. Grab your drink and get ready for some inspiring insights and a whole lot of fun. Welcome to the show, Danielle.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you. Thank you.
So happy to have you here.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for asking me to come on the show.
For sure. So the Dashing Sweets is a fairly new business. Can you tell us about what gave you the idea to start the Micro Event Center?
Yeah, so I started Dashing Designs, wedding and event floral design. I started that, I've been in business for about a decade with that business. So I was doing mainly aesthetics, florals, decor, rentals, kind of the aesthetics of all of the weddings, all things pretty in the wedding and events industry. And I've been all over the state of Ohio. I've done room transformations. I've been in tons of different venues. And I noticed my sister and I have lived in the Pickerington, Canal, Winchester area for the last 23 years. And I noticed over the last 10 years of doing flowers and being in different venues that we didn't really have a small space over here in the Pickerington area. And over time, especially since COVID, micro weddings and small events have become more popular, especially in the micro wedding industry. And so we just felt that there was a need for a space like this over in the Columbia or in the Far East area in Pickerington. And we looked around everywhere but what seemed to be Pickerington, and we came across this little gem, a hidden gem, and everything just started falling into place. Not without its challenges, but in the long run, we're here. So that's all that matters.
We'll probably get to some of those.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Would you share a synopsis of your business journey from idea to grand opening?
So we grand opened. Our first event was the first weekend in August of 2023. So we're coming up on our 1 year anniversary, but we've done so well since, and we've been so welcomed by the community, and it's just kind of it's been a sounding board and a springboard. It's gone so amazing. We can't even believe it.
Yeah, your ribbon cutting was amazing. And
it was fun.
Yeah.
A
lot of fun.
I think we had almost a little over 100 people that came through that night. So yeah. So again, being in the wedding industry with Dashing Designs, I wanted to stay true to the brand, to the Dashing brand. And I wanted it to be kind of, when you hear about one, you think of the other. So staying brand streamlined was really important to us. Plus, we felt it was a catchy name and immerses any and all types of events. And so we just felt, it took us a little while to find the right space. But we knew coming into this, I mean, in the wedding and event industry background that I have, we felt that like we would more so book like baby showers, bridal showers, graduation parties, small intimate events of that nature. Our goal was to eventually get into micro weddings just because we have the full service decor background, all of that. We could be a one-stop shop for couples. And we just felt the need to kind of look around, and we found this space about 6 months after looking for it, and everything just kind of fell into place. So the goal was to have a small space where you could feel like coming home. You feel comfortable, but it could be transformed to be, you feel like you're coming into a grand ballroom in a larger event space, but it's on a smaller scale. And we wanted to make sure that our clients didn't need to sacrifice or didn't feel like they needed to sacrifice design and style and aesthetic for price.
How'd you come up with your name, Dashing Sweet?
So I originally came up with Dashing Designs, just because if you look up the word dashing in the dictionary, it can be used in different terms, like a dashing, a dashing gentleman, or it's really the behind the name dashing is energetic, confident. So we really wanted to have a name that reflected that, but was also catchy and people would remember.
Mm-hmm.
We've been able to come up with some really kitschy, fun things during the holidays and just in general. But we wanted to make sure that we kept, again, brand sensitive with the Dashing Suite because although they're two separate entities, we wanted to make sure that people remembered us. And so we decided to keep that moving along with the Dashing Suite. So each suite that we eventually will pop up in different cities, it'll just be the name, but our best practices and the way that we do things will be different than most venues. And that's what we're really trying to kind of set the foundation for right now.
I love it. What are some of the biggest challenges that you've encountered during your startup phase?
Oh, so we wanted to, my sister and I, who's my business partner in both businesses now, we wanted to make sure that we ran the business as streamlined and as cost effective as possible. Our goal was to not take any loans out, to really start from the ground up. And I feel like Dashing Designs was a good springboard or catalyst for that because I had already built all of the networking relationships with all of the party planners and wedding planners, all of the DJs, all the caterers. And I'd spent 10 years working really hard at creating a name of integrity and a reputation in the industry that resounded with competency and discipline and just showing up and being present and being a woman of my word. And so expanding off of that, we basically just wanted to do that. Now, I will say this. We have managed to, from the get-go, we have managed to not take out any loans. We've not had to borrow money or pull money from personal funds. This has literally been a boots on the ground, grassroots effort, and just expanding, taking all of the, what is that saying? Your network is your net worth. So we really took that and kind of ran with it. So it was important for us to get out there and really just let people know what we're doing. And we didn't know all the answers. And that's like the fun and the exciting, but also the gut wrenching part of business is that you don't really know what lies ahead. And it's terrifying, but it's also exciting because it challenges you to kind of break the mold and think outside the box. Our biggest challenge here was when we got into the space. We actually found the space in 2022 and we're getting ready to sign the lease, and it was right after Thanksgiving of 2022. And then right before Christmas, we got word from the township that they were not going to give us our final occupancy because of some zoning issues. So we had to wait 6 months for zoning. And thankfully we have some amazing building owners that believed in our business, believed in what was needed in this area and wanted this space to be used for something good. And so they patiently went through the process, and it took us about 6 months, but we got the final occupancy last July. And then we literally, while we were waiting, we were hoping and praying. We knew it was going to end up being positive in our favor. So we started immediately booking, even without knowing if we were going to get. So I'm more of like a ready, fire, and then aim kind of gal.
Did the township help advocate for you? I mean,
Yeah, there's always some, they have to be very kind of unbiased. And I'll be honest, we were kind of nervous because they own an event space that they run out of. So we thought, oh, this might be something that they might not want here. Pickerington's not easy to start a business in. There's a lot of red tape, a lot of things you have to go through. But we were patient and they were really great with just guiding us along and keeping us moving. But it ended up working out really well for us.
oh, good.
Was there anything that surprised you by how easily it went?
The rezoning process was not the easiest, and we didn't have a lot that we had to do as business owners, so it was really on the building owners to deal with all of that. But as far as surprises, no, it was, I mean, like I said, we have felt like we hit the jackpot finding this space, and it was just like we've just asked for certain things. And I've always been taught, like, the worst thing anybody could tell you is no. And if you don't ask, you might never know. And so we just went into it like, hey, can we do this? Can we do that? And at first it was almost too good to be true. We were like, oh, something's about to happen because everything seems to be going too well. So, but no, we didn't really come across anything crazy that we had to deal with.
That's great.
What type of events do you specialize in?
So we have a really good mixture of events, but I would say baby showers, bridal showers, milestone birthdays, and graduation parties during graduation season. And micro weddings have been good to us. I mean, we've been in business not even a year yet, and we have curated maybe about 6 to 8 of those. We've got several more micro wedding receptions on the books for the remainder of this year, and we've even started booking into 2025. We've had some corporate events and holiday parties, and we've had a wealth management group come in and utilize the space during the mornings. And so, I mean, we've got a good mixture of everything, but I would say top 3 would be micro wedding receptions, baby showers, and bridal showers.
Yeah. Do you go to any of the bridal shows to set up to offer your space availability to the brides that come through?
Yeah, so we've been to a couple of shows. I would have to say more so on the floral event, like floral side of things, that we've had better return of investment on those. Most of our business, I would have to say, would be just local shows like farmers markets, go where the people are.
Yeah.
And we don't try to limit ourselves just to bridal shows.
Yeah. Are you scheduled to be at the farmers market this summer?
Not this year. With us hitting the ground running and just booking and keeping it moving, we haven't had an opportunity to do that much this year. Plus, we're just now this year, over the course of the last 10 months, we're establishing that budget of marketing and advertising and where we want to allocate those dollars to. And so we're just trying to take that one step at a time, but we'll take it on a case by case if it's something that we deem necessary or would be a good investment.
When all the referral groups, when I see any questions, I always refer you guys.
And we're so thankful for that. We get so many notifications. Yeah, we get so many notifications of people who will tag us. So we see it all the time. And to us, that's true. And we're really trying, in the age of social media, it's so hard everybody's like wanting likes and wanting shares and wanting this. And for us, it was more so, I'm old school. So I'm all about the handshake and the organic communication with people. So for me, word of mouth is more important than even social media right now, because we don't ever know what's going to happen with social media. And we want to make sure that lasting impression of how we make people feel when they come through the doors, it lasts. And so we've done very well analytically. And I'm sure that's probably a question you'll ask, but analytics wise on where our leads and everything are coming from.
Nice. So can you walk us through the different styles of services you offer for your mini weddings and baby showers and your small parties?
Yeah. So we can do as little or as much as our clients need. We've had DIYers that want to just rent the space out, and we can certainly do that. As far as our services for our weddings, we can do as little as just full decor, or we have packages of 50 guests or less where we can include the catering, include the DJ, photo booth, cake, custom signage, florals, everything. So like they literally don't have to do anything. They just show up and have a good time. And with our smaller events, we have a la carte items where they can add on if they want to take on decor themselves, but they need some additional items like specialty linens or champagne walls or donut walls or dessert setups. We have that option available as well.
Tell me how you personalize your events for your clients. Is there something specific that you change up for every client?
Yeah, so we are a boutique customization all the way. So we initially, if we get a client that wants us to do full decor, we sit down with them. We have a planning meeting just like I would with our wedding floral clients. And we get them to send us inspiration photos, themes. We ask them a plethora of questions. And then once we get that consultation, then we go to the design board and we create an entire mood board and a full proposal. So they see itemization of everything that they're getting, what it's going to look like. And that way they can have peace of mind knowing that if they want a wild one theme with like safari, we can do it. Or if they want like a SpongeBob SquarePants party, we can do that. But everything is customized and we treat our smaller micro weddings, no clients, no different than we do our larger budget, larger scale clients.
What's the biggest micro wedding you've had or micro event? And then what's the smallest?
So the smallest we've had is, well, okay, let's go with the largest. The largest we've had about 60 and it was a micro wedding. And that was just the reception. And the smallest event, we actually had a client who had booked the space for her daughter's sweet 16 birthday party. Well, her daughter was like, I don't want a party. I want to go on this trip. And so she ended up, didn't want to lose the space and didn't want to lose the money. And so she ended up, we created this, she had us decorate a cute little table for two and did like balloons and everything. And it was this romantic, like surprise 40th birthday for her boyfriend.
Oh,
And so he
that's
came
sweet.
in. Yeah, we got the space looking all pretty. And then he came into a romantic dinner and it was just the two of them and they had music going and they were just dancing in the space. And they had a couple of hours where it was just like a super surprise and he loved it. It was the coolest. So we've had as little as 2 and as big as like 60.
Oh, I love that. The next question is, can you share a particularly memorable event you've hosted and what made it special? That might be it. Or one of them anyway.
It was one of our first weddings. And long story short, this couple came to us. It was heartbreaking. They had dealt with some death in the family, some sickness. They had been trying to get married and have their dream wedding for forever. And when the bride came with her, I think it was her sister, she came in during one of our open houses when we first opened. And she was like, we've tried to get married multiple times. Everything just seems to be working against us. She said, we even chalked it up and decided to, so their first venue fell through. And then they tried to go down to Nashville and do an Airbnb and ended up getting scammed out of like $1,000 for this destination wedding. And they were about ready to give up. And when she came and talked to us, she just said she felt really comfortable and just knew that we would make it special. And so we went all the way, above and beyond however we could to make this day like amazing for them. And it ended up being the best day. And I think it made me cry because the one thing that she said that I think we've coined, since we started here is when she said that when her and her sister were here and they toured, they left and she said she looked at her sister and said, what do you think? And her sister was like, it's not what I think, it's what you want. It's what do you guys want to do? And she said that all I want to do is have an intimate space where I can have all of my closest family and friends under one roof where I can hug them all at once. Aww. And that to me was like the game changer. I'm like, yeah, I know why we're here now. And so to create that memory afterwards and, and she gave us a raving video review. And to me, that was what was sealed the deal. Like, that's why we're doing what we're doing.
I love that.
That's awesome.
So what was the most unexpected thing that ever happened in an event?
Oh. Um, the most unexpected and challenging thing was that, we had people sneak alcohol in, and we had to address that. And there was some shenanigans going on out in the parking lot that we had to break up. I mean, I don't even know if that would even be considered like surprising, but yeah, it was so nothing. I mean, it's been pretty cool, calm and collective here. We've not had any major issues, thankfully. Thank God.
Good.
But yeah, I mean, I would just have to say that somebody tried to sneak it in, and we kind of simmered that down quickly.
Mhm.
Now, can they have alcohol, or is it alcohol-free space?
No, we do allow you to bring your own alcohol in. The only thing that we do not allow is outside bartenders. So we have a specific company, two of them actually, that we work with that are licensed, bonded, tip certified, and very well insured in the state of Ohio, just in reference to liability. So you can bring your own alcohol in. It has to be served by one of our licensed vendors. So there's no like Uncle Tom, is a bartender down the street at the local bar. We can't allow him to come in. It's just too much risk. And we do not allow shots though. So beer, wine, signature cocktails are fine, but we do not allow like hard liquor shots.
Okay.
Yeah.
What marketing strategies have been most effective for you growing?
So analytically, again, this to me is astonishing, and just the power of word of mouth and the relationships that you build during building any business. So right now, according to a pie chart that we have put together,
Yes.
50% of our business comes from Facebook, really, to be honest with you. People that tag us, so 50% of that business comes from Facebook and just a little sliver of Instagram. And then the other 50%, that's broken down. So 25% is word of mouth from previous clients, and the other 25% is word of mouth from industry professionals. So we literally have an even 50-50 split of Facebook and word of mouth. And so for us, it's like, why reinvent the wheel? Just keep it moving and keep building those relationships and keep doing all the things. So
Now, I want to talk more about Facebook.
Yeah.
So there's this infamous group in our city called Pickerington Peeps.
Yes.
Do you pay for this, or do they let you post on it?
It is a paid post page. It has served pretty well for us. I do have to say, I'm still I'm old school. So like, I hate to say that I loathe social media, but if I didn't have businesses, I probably wouldn't be on social media. It's a little unorthodox to come across something like that, but I also spoke to one of the people who are overseeing it, and they've kind of explained to me over time how they've built the following, et cetera, et cetera. And I have some opinions on like how things are monitored and administered, but for the most part, for me, it's cost comparison. It's a small price to pay to kind of just get out there.
And how much are they, if you don't mind me asking?
It's $10 a post. So honestly, and I will say this, that based on us doing, like, we don't do a lot of boosted posts through Facebook, and those paid boosts you don't always see the fruits of that either. So for us, the Pickerington Pete's page is more organic drive than it is just Facebook putting it out there everywhere. Like, Pickerington Peeps is in our backyard. That's who we want to start with. We want to work from the inside and go out. So I would have to say, I do not feel, I feel like there is some value to it for sure.
Yeah, I messaged the moderator to get the information on how to do it. I just never called. You hate calling.
I know. And I didn't know that it was moderated like that, or that it was a paid, until I tried to post something.
Yeah.
And then they were like, denied. And I'm like, what? But the gentleman that I've been working with, he's super nice. He's been nothing but nice and not pressuring.
Okay, cool.
What if that $10 goes?
I think it's just for advertising and just for like the upkeep of, I mean, I can't imagine if you're on Pickerington Peeps a lot, there's several businesses, and I kind of watched it before I, um, agreed to it, but I noticed that there was, several businesses that had posted periodically, on a consistent basis. So I'm like, yeah, it definitely feels like there's some value to that. So I don't know like the full breakdown, but I know that there's no one really getting rich over on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Well,
I
it
guess,
probably takes a heck of a lot of time to moderate that page.
It is. And I think that's why I think there's more than one or two moderators.
yeah, I think so. There's a handful of them, I believe.
Yeah.
Danielle, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh, well, I'll be 44 tomorrow.
Oh, happy
So
birthday.
yeah, thank you. I'm hoping that by the time I'm 50, my goal is to have a semi exit strategy because, for me, it's important to try to enjoy life and not wait till I'm 75 to start like enjoying retirement. So our goal is to kind of keep the best practices going, get the business model down, eventually maybe franchise out, set that reputation and set that up to where we can help other budding entrepreneurs who want to get into the industry and just don't know how to do it, and just kind of help them and make it lucrative for us, but also help them out as well. So the goal is to be semi-retired, but I don't think I ever will because I'm too creative. I just got to be doing something. So,
So what advice would you give somebody that wanted to start, like maybe a franchise of yours, if they wanted to start their own event center?
Just start, just do it, and find people like myself who've done the things and have gone through the red tape and know what kind of fiery darts will come at you and roadblocks and stumbling blocks, and just get a mentor, get somebody who's walked it before you have, who's willing to not be a gatekeeper and be willing to share that information with you. And yeah, and just don't be afraid to start doing it and asking the questions up front. I know it's easier said than done, but once you do it, it's like, oh, okay, well, this is
Why didn't I do this sooner?
right.
Tell us some words of wisdom for creating a memorable event.
Just listen to your clients. When I sit down with a client and I ask them to give me their like dream ideas of how they want to execute it, how they want it to look, how they want it to flow, oftentimes I'll ask them things that they don't like. So like clients will tell me a lot more about things they don't like, and I can navigate that. But it's really just listening to them and bouncing ideas off, but not being so overbearing to where you take over, allow them to be the captain of that event, but just have the mindset that you're there to just execute their vision. And that we do have clients that are like, we trust you, we've seen your work, you do you. And that's amazing. And we love those clients, but we love when clients also take charge and let us know and guide us on what they want to do as well. So just personalization and just bouncing ideas off of them, but just listening, really just listening to them.
So how do you think you'll scale that? You said you were thinking about multiple locations.
So our goal is we started off in Pickerington because that's closest to home and that's where we felt there was a need. And then we'll just kind of expand. I'm not going to give away where I'm going to go next, but
There's already
there are some things you gatekeep until after it's done.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say gatekeep. It's move in silence and then, publicize after. I learned that early on in my wedding business to not, the excitement's there and it's great that you're charismatic and you want to share things, but sometimes sharing things kind of suppresses. So you just have to kind of, wait things out. So our goal is to kind of pop these up in different spots and be strategic where we pop them up because, everybody, it seems like now these days since COVID, everybody's popping up micro wedding or micro event spaces. And I'm on a lot of forums on Facebook and chats and groups of people all over that are just throwing them up everywhere. But really, it's just honing in on what separates us from everyone else. So just like Olympic swimmers, staying in your lane and not looking on who's doing what to the left and to the right, stay focused.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the right people that are meant to be your clients will be your clients, and just be a help to other people. That's big important thing to us. I'm transparent about everything, about our pricing, about our policies, everything. But yeah, just staying focused, and but we'll see what the future holds.
So the Dashing Suites isn't your only job, right? You have a regular full-time
No.
job too?
Yes.
So,
But our clients will never know
yeah.
that.
How do you get everything
um,
done? Do you have any tips on efficiency and organization and all that?
Yeah, my sister and I both have had tenure at a local dealership here in Columbus. We both have been with the company for about 13 years. We work different departments. Really, it's just respect. I work a 9 to 5, basically Monday through Friday. So starting the wedding business early on, about a decade ago, was easy for me because it's a weekend business. Not easy in the extent that there's a lot of late nights in the evenings after I clock out, but it's just managing the time and doing it well. And there's things that go wrong, and there's things where I have to be certain places, but just respecting the time that I am at the day job. And I don't do business during the day there. So I'm focused, and because it's already a demanding job for me there. It's just setting boundaries and being okay with those. And your clients understand. If you're like, we don't take tours, after or before 5:30. We don't, do phone calls up to a certain time. So and most of the time our clients understand, and they work 9 to 5s too. So it works out for us. So yeah.
So Danielle, what have you enjoyed the most about starting the Dashing Suite?
Aside from anything, I think just the confidence that I've seen in myself. It's one thing, ideas are a dime a dozen, but it's executing them and being consistent. That's the hardest part. And that's why I think a lot of businesses fail, because they lack patience, and they lack perseverance, and they lack the discipline just to keep going. And I would be lying if I said there's not days that I just want to walk away. And I think any business owner would probably be lying to themselves if they said, "Oh, everything's great all the time." It's a roller coaster of emotions, but I think patience and consistency is the key. And just honestly, just every time I open the door, every time I turn the key and I come in here, and after every event, I'm just like in awe. Like, I'm not even exactly sure how this even happened, but God and perseverance. So
Awesome. Okay, Danielle, it is time for our quick fire round. We're going to ask you some quick questions, and you just tell us the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay. What is the book that you've most given as a gift, or the book that made the biggest difference in your life?
I would have to say Built to Lead by Chet Scott. My boss at the dealership, he is a big fan of the Built to Lead series. And Built to Lead is basically 365 days or ways, I guess you could say, of just mastering life and just learning how to be in a leadership role. Certain people are born with more leadership qualities, but it can also be learned as another discipline. So yeah, so I would have to say Built to Lead by Chet Scott.
Let's check that out.
Yeah, it's a good book.
What purchase of $100 or less has most positively impacted you?
Oh man. Maybe my earbuds, I guess, because I've never been like a headphone kind of person. But for me, I've been using them more, and it's different when you're in your car and you're by yourself. But when you're out and you just are maybe going on a walk or something, it's like earbuds are great. Audiobooks are amazing. If you don't have time to read, audiobooks are great. So yeah, I would have to say the earbuds.
Nice.
Okay.
What is your proudest accomplishment?
I would have to say starting Dashing Designs and juggling that with a full-time job for the last 10 years and seeing the success. I started off with doing floral arrangements, and I remember going to Hobby Lobby and just pulling silk flowers and decor and just kind of doing little table design setups, mock-up tables at my dining room table in my 900 square foot apartment, and taking those and seeing all of the work that I've done now, like up to this point, and some of the weddings that I've, curated that I didn't think I could ever do in a million years. But being in business kind of forced me to grow. And so just seeing how it started versus how it's going has been like the ultimate rush.
I love it.
And being recognized, I mean, I would have to say 10 years ago, I never dreamed that I would be published, my work would be published in magazines or anything. And fast forward, I've been published in several Midwest and Northeast wedding magazines and voted best of things. And it's just amazing. And I think more than anything, just working really hard to build a good reputation with people of integrity and built on honesty, and to hear people call me, and I'm not being on a soapbox, but hearing people call and say, yeah, so-and-so speaks so highly of you and said, you're definitely the person I need to talk to. And so for me, that's more important than anything. It's more important than money. It's more important than anything, really. It's just knowing that, what is that saying where they say, build a reputation of integrity, so much so that if the people that know you, if someone else talks about you bad, they won't believe it. And so that's really the goal. That's the end game. Yeah.
I love it. So do you have a current passion project?
Yeah. I have a couple of them. So I love doing styled photo shoots, and I'm very rarely am I ever in front of the camera. I'm usually behind the scenes. So I'm working on modeling and designing a dress and creating a whole styled photo shoot based on what I love. And so I did that down at OSU Faculty Club a few years ago, and it's been about 6 years. And I'm like, I'm time due for it now. But to be able to take an idea that I have in a color palette and go off of that and just kind of curate the whole thing is great. In addition to that, I haven't launched or soft launched yet, but I'm taking the 10 years of experience in the wedding and event industry that I have, and I've been mentoring a couple of people over the last year who wanted to start their own venue. And I've mentored and coached them on what to do and past experiences and just kind of being an open book. And so that has kind of like unfolded more of a coaching and consulting side of my craft and my job. So be on the lookout for that. It'll be catering more towards entry-level entrepreneurs who want to get into the wedding and event industry specifically. So yeah, so I think it's about time. 10 years into it, I think I know a few things.
Yes, yeah.
What is one skill you would like to master?
I'd like to be a better piano player, if that makes any sense. I'm musically inclined, and that's kind of my first love and passion, but I would love to be able to master that. And I don't know, there's so many, I can't choose. I think everybody wants to be better time managers. So I'd like to be able to figure out some way quantum math wise to come up with more time.
More than 24 hours in a day.
Yes.
Yeah. Danielle, what was your first job?
So I started off pretty young. 12 years old, I was babysitting, but then I got my first job was at Cedar Point. I was 16 years old, and I worked a summer there. And then the next year I started working at the lodge at Sawmill Creek Resort, which is now it was privately owned at the time, but I was a maid there. I cleaned hotel rooms. And then I worked my way up to front desk and reservations. And then I kept that job for about 4 or 5 years until I moved down here to Columbus. And then it's kind of history. And now where I'm at now.
What is a song that you turn to, like a pump up song to get you going?
Well, right now I'm obsessed with everything Bridgerton. So I love classical music. So I would say upbeat classical, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Since we are called Cosmos and Commerce, Cosmo being the
Yeah.
drink, what is your drink
Yeah.
of choice?
Well, if everybody that knows me knows I love a really good margarita.
Oh, okay. I love a good
So,
margarita
and
too.
my favorite drink is a jalapeno margarita.
Ooh.
Actually, I like them pretty spicy.
Oh.
But then it would have to be just like a mimosa. So, yeah.
Okay. Would you rather host an extravagant themed mini wedding every weekend or organize a surprise baby shower for a celebrity once a month?
Definitely the wedding. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Celebrities are too hard to work with. They want everything for free. So it's like
Yeah. Okay. All right.
and exposure does not pay the bills.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
True story. True
We get a
story.
lot of that in our
Danielle-
industry too.
Yeah, for sure. Mine too. Danielle, where can our listeners find you?
So we have a combined website right now as the Dashing Suite's getting built out. But if they go to thedashingsuite.com, they can check out our website, Dashing Designs and the Dashing Suite. So there's pictures and ways that you can inquire about the venue space and inquire about floral and event design services. And then we're on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram. So you can go to at the Dashing Suite venue or at Dashing Designs LLC on both Instagram and Facebook.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being a part of our show.
Thank you guys. It was so much fun. Yeah. Next time we'll actually have a
drink.
We'll have a cocktail with us.
Usually this hour we do. I don't know where mine is.
We have done that before. All I have is a tea here right now.
It to go off the rails a little.
Oh, fun. All right. Well, yeah, thanks for being on our show. And don't forget, listeners, to subscribe and check out our past episodes on cosmosandcommerce.com.
Yeah, and we will actually really quickly, we'll also have, we're planning a 1-year anniversary open house. So we'll have that posted on our website and on social media here pretty soon.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We'll be there. We'll be there.
Thank you so much. Yes. I'll bring the cocktails.
Okay. Looking forward to some margaritas while we're there.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got it.
I'm in.
Yep. Sounds good. All right, everyone. Have a great day.
All right, ladies, you too.